Just cleaning off the screen. Oops. It's always fun figuring that out. Okay. Hi. Just gonna make sure that you see what I see. Let me know if you're here. That didn't work very well. Always fun at first, making sure everything's working. All right, I see Kumar, Anita, hello, happy Monday. Good to see you. All right, yeah, that all looks good. Perfect. Okay. So hopefully this is the stream that people go to, because the first one crashed on me. It does that. Post. Okay. All right, welcome. Hi, everybody. Say hi if you just showed up. I see that there's 4 people here right now, and usually a few more come in the next few minutes. Welcome to yoga flow class with me. I'm Leslie Germain. Good to see you. Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend. The weather is starting to warm up, which is nice. The girls are like, yay, it's finally summer. And I'm like, yeah, usually there's like one more spell in May of rain and cold, if I remember correctly, usually. I feel like we're on that trajectory to warmth, even though the allergies might be acting up a little bit. But it's beautiful outside. So after this yoga practice, or maybe later this evening, if you have the opportunity to walk around your neighborhood and maintain social distance, I highly recommend it. It's just nice to go outside and slow down. I know whenever I go on hikes, I always tend to notice the little things, and it might be because I walk at the pace of my children more now these days. I'm not just like walking up a mountain, right? I'm enjoying the hike, so I'll notice a big tree and I'll just look at the tree and spend a few minutes examining it. And you know, if there's a butterfly or a bird that I might hear, I'll look for it. And just, it's not to reach the top of the mountain. You know, that's great once you reach the top when you're outside. And that's a great thing about yoga and meditation, is it teaches us how to be present, how to be aware of what's going on. And so we're going to work through a little seated meditation right now, where we're going to bring our awareness to our senses. Okay? So if you're ready, find your way to your mat, either in a comfortable seat, and if you need to place a blanket underneath or a pillow to feel more comfortable, go ahead. You can also lay down on your mat. Either option is perfectly fine, just however you're feeling this Monday afternoon. Okay? And then once you're there, close your eyes. You can either have your hands down on your knees, facing down, if you're feeling like you'd like to give some of your energy out today. Or if you're feeling a little depleted, a little overwhelmed, perhaps you flip your palms up to allow your palms to be a vessel for acceptance. So your circle is open and not closed. And you can choose whatever you need for that. And we're going to start with drawing ourselves inside. And so for this specific type of meditation, we're not trying to just find the space, the stillness within, because that is a goal. But for this one, it's to notice the moments. So we're going to start with touch. Notice your body that's pressing down into the mat or ground beneath you and how that feels. Can you move in such a way to allow that feeling to become a little heavier, a little more grounded? So you might have to shift your hips back slightly or forward just a bit. You might have to sit up a little bit taller. Noticing where your hands are and how they connect with your body. Noticing the temperature of your skin. If there's a breeze or a heat or a coolness to it. And so when we're in this type of meditation of awareness, we're keeping our focus on the present. So if you shift your hands slightly, you'll notice the feeling now in your body. The touch has changed. And instead of focusing on the past, you come to now, whatever that is. And that's our touch awareness. Well, we'll move on to the sound awareness. What do you hear? I hear birds chirping outside and the hum of my refrigerator. What do you hear? And the work of the sound withdrawal is not focusing on the negative sounds, right? So when a car honks its horn or a garbage truck drives by, oh God, it took me out of my meditation. How often have we felt that way? Instead, notice it for that brief moment. It's usually just a few seconds. And then move your awareness to the new noises that are now present. Because my refrigerator is always humming. I can always hear that if I'm bringing my awareness to it. We'll sit here another 10 seconds with touch and sound. Your breath is a sound. It's also a feeling. And then finally, the last sense will be the one of sight. And if your eyes are closed, you'll notice different colors swirling around. It might just be black, it might be white, or swirls of orbs. Notice what you see behind closed eyes. And we'll sit here the next 10 breaths, you focusing on whatever type of meditation you just enjoyed the most. And feel your breath and try to maintain awareness for the next 10 slow and steady breaths. Are you still with it? Beautiful. Beginning to take your hands off your knees, rubbing your hands together. If you're laying on your back, find your way up onto a seat. Keep rubbing your hands, creating a little bit of friction here. And then your eyes remain closed as you slowly press your palms to your closed eyes. And we'll let our hands transfer the heat for a few moments. Noticing how it looks with eyes. Did it reconnect yet? I'm not sure. Looks like it might be. Sorry, y'all. Hopefully I got you again. Let's see. Okay, we'll try this again. I'm so sorry. And if it does it again, I will go see what my husband is doing on his computer and see if he can get off the internet. It's hard with the bandwidth issues right now with 2 girls and a husband working. But happy baby, all right? If you're still with me, happy baby on your back. Okay. And I'll keep checking my computer to make sure that we are still together. And if we separate, I know that there are other videos on YouTube's Breathe page. I have one from a week ago. I also have a YouTube page on Leslie Germain Yoga. I know it's not the same, but this is the way of the internet. All right, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, and then rock and roll yourself forward and back, massaging the length of your spine until you find your way into tabletop position. All right. And let me know if I look really blurry to you. I look blurry on my screen. So if any of you have a moment, say, looks clear or looks blurry. And then I'll see if I can fix it if it's an issue. We're going to do a little cat-cow tucks here. As you inhale, drop the belly, gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck the tailbone, push through your hands. And then inhale, coming back to your little cow. Happy California cow. Exhale, round the spine. So you can continue moving like that, or maybe add a little more movement to it as you come into a cat, shift over your wrists, and then back again. So you're just moving a little bit differently in your cat-cow. Or you can start to do a little wild lion, or a dancing lion, where you barrel roll the chest, big hip circles, maybe your shoulder rolls here. Whatever you're feeling right now, how do you want to move while on your hands and your knees? And you might make big circles with your hips. See how wide you can go. Or you stay with those cat-cows. It's all up to you. We'll be here about 3 more breaths. Okay, come on, YouTube. And if you're still doing those big arm circles, thread the needle. Yeah, I'm gonna lose some viewers today. I'm not sure this is gonna work out. We'll give it till 12:20. How about that? And if it's still doing it, then I'll just email Breathe and say it did not work today. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale as you thread it through, resting on the left shoulder, left temple. Maybe your right hand comes out towards the front of your mat. Maybe it goes for a bind, reaching around for that left thigh. And if you want to play with a little floating of the leg here, start straightening that right leg as you push the toes into the ground. Make sure that front thigh is facing down versus to the side, an inner spiral here. And then maybe lift the right leg off the ground for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bring the knee in. Tabletop position. We're going to switch on the other side. This time the right arm comes back up and forward, back up and forward. Do that a few times. I'm going to go see if my husband can get off the internet, and you'll reverse direction. And when you're ready, thread the needle, and I will join you in about 20 seconds. Girls, can you play a different game for a little bit? My internet's stopping so much. Please, just do splash mask for 20 minutes. Okay, threading the needle. Hopefully you're already there. If you haven't yet, maybe lift that left leg up off the ground for 3 and 2. If you're still lifting it, it's been there for a while, bring it down. The left hand comes underneath as you inhale, send the right arm up. Exhale, tabletop position. Tuck those back toes, sit back on your heels for a little toe squat. So we're gonna have our knees down for this one. We're trying to spread the fascia in the back of the feet. Inhale as you send your arms up. Take the right arm, bending and grabbing the left elbow. And instead of letting your spine round here, letting your head relax, really start to sit up tall, pushing the back of your head into your arm. If you'd like to add on to here, start to lean over to your left. So we'll feel a nice stretch in the side body. And then exhale, release, switching sides. If your toes are starting to cramp, untuck and just sit on flat feet. Otherwise, the left arm reaches up. We take a bend and reach for the left elbow. Really push the head back so we can create more space in the shoulders, the upper back. And then if you wanted to do a little lean over to your right. So we're finding more space between that left hip and outer arm. One more breath. How are you doing? Exhale, release, big shoulder rolls here. And then reverse direction. Finding your way to the front of your mat. Standing tall, mountain pose. Rooting your feet. Tucking the tailbone slightly here. So we're not doing a little banana back. Just a slight tuck so your feet feel heavier, more grounded, more rooted. As you inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, hands move up to shins, flat back. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, create more length. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Maybe do a little back bend here, bringing the shoulder heads a little further away from each other. Exhale, soften the knees, belly to thighs, head hangs heavy. So you can either have your hands on the ground, grab your elbows, and if you're grabbing your elbows, actively pull down so you're creating more space along the back chain of the body. All the way from the lower back to the mid back to the upper back, and you might even feel something in the back of the legs. If you do, you can bend your knees a little bit more if it feels too intense. But if it feels okay, consider lifting the hips and straightening the legs just a little bit. And then inhale as you slowly roll up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Sweeping your arms up, palms touch. This time you're going to walk your feet so they're a little bit more than hip distance apart. And I'm going to come down to my knees. You stay on your feet. I just want you to see my hands, so you can do that with your hands. Otherwise, my camera can only go so far back. My living room is only so big, right? So with your arm options, inhale, send your arms up. Interlace your fingers and point your palms up to the sky. Okay, this is option number 1. If you want to go a little bit further while you're standing on your feet, you can take the right hand, reach for that left wrist, and then lean over to your right. Okay, and if that doesn't feel deep enough for you, release the right hand to the outer thigh and keep letting the hand travel down the leg. Okay, so I'm going to stand up and join you, because I think you can figure it out for the other side. We got some smart people, right? Inhale, both arms rise, interlace the fingers, palms point up, leaning over to the left this time. If you want to release the palm, let the left hand grab the right wrist, or the left hand releases and slides down the trunk of the left leg. Inhale, sending your arms up. Exhale, interlacing the hands behind your back as you heel toe your feet closer together. Soften the knees, forward fold. Allow your hands to move a little further away from your back. Maybe you can straighten your elbows slightly more. Keeping a bend in your knees as you release your hands. Inhale, chair pose. And let's make this a true chair instead of a bar stool where we sit up a little higher. I know I can't see you, but I bet you higher than you can actually go. Sit low enough where your hips are in the same line as your knees, and your knees are maybe stacked over your ankles. So we're leaning back. We're not leaning forward into the toes. Okay, 1 more breath. You can do it. Now lean your weight slightly forward. You might have to sit up a little taller to draw that right foot off the ground. It's okay if the toes have to touch the ground for a supported flamingo. Otherwise, see if you can squeeze that hamstring, and then slowly take that right foot back into a high lunge. Taking the right knee down to the ground, low lunge, hands come down, and feel around here for a little bit. So find a little freedom, okay? So maybe you go deeper into that front knee. Maybe you want to shift the hips back a little bit. It's your choice to play. We'll be here another breath or so. Chest goes forward, palms come down, tuck the back foot, lift that left leg to the sky, stack the hips, three-legged downward dog. Exhale, bringing the knee to your nose. Inhale, kick it back out. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, knee to nose, bring it a little closer. Keep the hips lifted. 1 more, inhale, kick it out. Exhale, you can do it. Compress that core. And then exhale, bring that foot back down. Drop the knees, puppy pose. Hips stay lifted over the knees as you walk your hands over towards the front of your mat. So if you can, allow your forehead to press down into the ground and let the heart melt. So we're pushing the chest. If I were to do an assist here, I'd have my hand in your upper back and I'd lovingly slightly push down so you can feel the heart, that upper chest, get a little closer to the ground. And maybe you'll feel more space underneath the armpits. If that feels okay, shift your gaze slightly forward. And then exhale, walk your hands back in, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Feel free to walk your dog out here by bending one knee, opposite heel draws down. And switch sides. And switch sides. Keep pushing your hands into the ground to find high hips. Beautiful. Inhale, send that left leg back up again. Stack the hips as high as you can. And then exhale, bring that left foot to the outside of the left hand for dragon lunge. And then rooting the weight into the front foot and hands, shift your weight forward. Right foot joins for a low squat, Malasana. Pushing the ground away as you inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, release your hands down to your sides. So we're going to do that again, other side. Keep your feet a little bit more than hip distance apart like we did last time. As you inhale, arms lift, interlace the palms, face up. Let's lean over to the left this time first. And remember your options are grab the wrist or allow the left arm to come down to the ground. Not the ground, sorry, the leg. Inhale up, switching sides. Inhale up. Exhale, bringing your feet together. Interlace the hands behind your back, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, other side. Settle those hips down just a little bit lower. I know. And then come into your flamingo version, either keeping the knees together, allow the left toes to tuck slightly back. That's perfect. That's amazing. You're building up the strength in one leg. So one day you can do a hamstring curl right here. This is where this movement comes from. I allow this to shorten my hamstring muscle, and that allows me to lift my foot off the ground. One more breath. Exhale as you slowly bring that left foot behind you into your high lunge. Exhale, slowly lower the knee down to the ground. Hands come down. And it's your turn to play with that low lunge, whether you stay here, finding space as your hips go a little lower, knee a little deeper, or you send the hips back slightly and forward again. Beautiful. Hands come down to the ground, tuck the back foot. Inhale as you send that right leg up high, stack the hips. Taking one inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. How close can you get it? Inhale, back out. Exhale, a little closer. Maybe your nose can touch. Inhale, kick it up high. Exhale, knee to nose. Awesome. Coming back into that puppy pose. Knees lower down to the ground. Keep the hips high. Walk the hands forward, melt the heart. So since it's your second puppy pose, maybe you can go a little bit deeper this time. And then starting to shift your weight forward onto your forearms, dropping the hips, Sphinx pose. Like the lion in Egypt. Gazing over your left shoulder. And then back through center. Shifting over your right shoulder, keep pulling the shoulder heads away from each other. Exhale, hands come underneath the shoulders, tuck your toes. Seat to heels for child's pose, into downward facing dog. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, lion's breath, tongue out, eyes wide. 2 more. Last one. Inhale, right leg lifts up, stack those hips. Exhale, right foot to the outside of the right hand for dragon. And then taking your weight into your front body as you take the left foot forward, Navasana, low squat. Wrist circles here, pushing your hands into each other. And then reverse direction. Pushing the ground away as you inhale, rise. Exhale, bringing your feet together again, mountain pose. Close your eyes. Pause and feel. Come back to that meditation, awareness, whether it be touch, sound, sight. Be present for the next 5 breaths. All right, slowly opening your eyes, hands come to your hips. Taking the right foot off the ground and getting the knee to hip height. Knee to hip height. What happens if you straighten the leg? That might not feel very good, or you might be leaning back like crazy. If you're leaning back like crazy, bend the knee slightly again. But just try to keep the knee in the height of your hip if you can. And then what happens if you close your eyes here? What about your left eye? And then what about your right eye? What about both eyes? Oh man. And if you fall, you get back up, right? Open both eyes, straighten the leg. Exhale, find your way into warrior 3 as your leg goes back. Chest pointing down to the ground. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bend that front leg as you slowly lower the right heel down to the ground. Pivot the back heel so the whole sole of the foot is down to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands come towards your heart. Push the air away. I'll show you that again. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, push. Okay, we're going to add on to that. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, open, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. Let's do that one more time, shifting our weight back into warrior 1. Inhale. Exhale, push the air away. Pushing out any negativity. Inhale. One more time, exhale. Left hand stays where it is, right arm opens up. Warrior 2. Bending into that front knee a little deeper. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee, extended side angle pose. And you can stay here with that top arm reaching up overhead, feeling more of a balanced pose. If you want to add a little bit of movement and play into this, I recommend taking that top arm behind you towards your back leg, circling down towards the ground and then up again. Let's do that 3 more times. Down and up. Maybe your gaze follows the hand. Last one. Awesome. Warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. Exhale, triangle pose, shifting your fingertips forward. Hip goes back until your left hand drops down to your leg. Right arm reaches up. So I don't care. I never care. You know this if you take my classes. If your hand is on the ground or touching that big toe, I would rather you're using your core muscles on the side body and not collapsing on the left side. So if you have to collapse completely on the left side to find that left foot, you're going down way too deep and you're not getting the benefits out of this pose for the strength that you could be getting. You're just dumping into your flexibility, which is fine, but over time you might notice you're starting to hurt. And we don't want that. Exhale, top arm reaches up overhead towards the ground. This is when you'll actually notice, are you using your strength or flexibility? What happens if you take the left hand, I'm gonna face you guys so you can see. What happens if you take the left hand off your leg and take it to your right chest? What happens if you reach it on up overhead? Oh my goodness, for 3, 2, 1, exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale, kick that left leg up. Exhale, take the left leg to the outside of the left hand for dragon pose again. Dropping that right leg down to the ground, lizard lunge. So if you want to bring your forearms down to the ground and you have the flexibility, go ahead. If you need to bring blocks or an Amazon box underneath your forearms so you can open up here, do that. We're going to be here for about 40 seconds or so. And I think I'm blurry because the internet's choosing. I either can be clear and frozen all the time or blurry. So thanks, YouTube. Okay. Now if you'd like, tucking the back foot, lifting the knee, and starting to pivot. I don't want to do that right now, actually. Ignore what I said. Root your left foot again. Take that right foot forward into your Malasana low squat. You can stay here, or if you'd like to play with crow, bring your hands down to the ground. Lift the hips. And then see how high you can get those knees on top of the triceps. So if it's really low, that's okay. Over time, the goal is to get them way up high into the armpits. That's the goal, eventually, when we're like, I don't know, our 4th lifetime as a yogi, yeah? So keep the hips lifted, shift your sternum, chest forward. Maybe the right toes lift off the ground as you do a hamstring curl, and then they come back down. Maybe you switch, and then they come back down. Maybe both feet lift. And if they lift, see if you can straighten your arms by sending your chest forward a little bit more. One more breath. Exhale, slowly lower the feet, come back into your Malasana, down to a seat, boat pose, Navasana. Come down into Ardha Navasana, half boat. Bring your hands down to the ground, bend the knees, soles of the feet come down. All right, we're gonna do one side first. So we're gonna take that left hand and pivot it so the fingertips are facing away from our bodies. Okay, and you're gonna play with this. You'll see where you can go. You might have to move your elbow a little further away so you can play with it. But what we're gonna try to do is take the right arm and thread it around the leg, okay? So this is step 1. So we come down to that low back, the shoulder and head are still lifted, and we take our hands forward. Okay, if you wanna add on to this, lift the left leg. It squeezes in and out, up and down. Exhale, up, inhale, down. Let's do that 2 more times. If it feels weird on that left arm, walk the elbow out a little bit more. And then on your last one, hold here. Maybe straighten the leg and pulse for 5, 4. Keep reaching the hand through. 2 and 1. Exhale. Woo! Back into that half boat, full boat. And then we're gonna roll ourselves back onto our feet, coming into a standing position as you inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Pause and feel that. Okay, we're going to do the other side, rooting your right foot, hands come to hips as you take the left leg off the ground. So just like we do in Flamingo, you might not be able to balance quite yet, that's okay. It takes time as we develop the strength and balance in our bodies to hold these poses. But if you are able to, lift that foot off the ground and bring the knee in the same line as the hip. Beautiful. And if you want to play here, straighten that front leg. But notice if you're leaning back, try to keep the head over the heart, over the hips, over the heel. One straight line. Lift the leg up a little higher, inhale. Exhale, shift yourself back into warrior three. Take your time, no rush. The transition is just as beautiful as the pose, just like the hiking. Noticing what happens along the way is just as beautiful as the top of the mountain. One more breath in your warrior three. Exhale as you bend that front knee, slowly taking that left leg behind you for warrior one. Sole the foot pushing down to the ground as you inhale, arms rise. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, hands come to the heart center, push the airway. You might even have a protraction of the shoulder blades. Inhale, rise. Exhale. It's like a circuit of energy. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. Right hand stays reaching, left arm comes up overhead for warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Keep a bend in your front knee. And we're going to do that again, pivoting your left hip forward. Warrior one. Inhale, arms rise. Keep a bend in the front knee. Exhale, push through heart center. Inhale, warrior two. A moving meditation. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Top arm reaching up overhead. So if you're feeling really nice where you're at, you're going at 50% today. That's all you got. Maybe it's 20%. You stay right here. You got nowhere to go. This is beautiful. It feels amazing, I hope. Otherwise, take that top arm behind you, down towards the mat, doing these big circles, and up, and back, and down, and up. Maybe you follow your hand. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's too much. Last one. Until the top arm is reaching up overhead. Exhale. Warrior two. Straightening the front leg. Triangle pose. The left hip goes back.
I don't know that one.
I'm not talking to you, Alexa. Hinging in the right hip. So it's a little hinge, a little dip. Okay, so notice that in your body. How does your pelvis have to move? Reach the right fingertips forward. Allow the hand to land. Wrist over wrist. Remembering you don't need to touch the ground. Don't compromise here. Find that balance between strength and flexibility. So we're using a little bit of both. That's yoga, union. Left arm reaches up overhead. Find space from that left heel out through that left fingertip. And then we're gonna play with that strength of our core. Right hand maybe lifts, finds that left chest. This might feel really hard because it is. Otherwise, take that right arm and reach it up and parallel with the left. I'm teaching, I don't have the energy for that. I'm staying right here. Are you with me? For 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, warrior two. Windmilling both hands down to the ground. Kicking that right leg up to the sky. Stack the hips. Exhale, take that right foot to the outside of the right hand for dragon pose. And then whenever you're ready, maybe you're working on more strength. If not, knee comes down, untuck the foot, let the forearms rest, head and neck soften. Lizard lunge. And if you want to keep the right sole of the foot on the ground, you can. If you want to let the knee fall out to the side and you rest on the knife edge side of the pinky edge, that is another option. We'll be here about 5 more breaths, wherever you chose to go. Soften your jaw. Come back to that sensation awareness. How does your skin temperature feel now? How does your breath feel moving in and out of your body? Let your hips lower a little bit more. Beautiful. Exhale. Hands come down to the ground. Keep your right foot where it is. Left leg comes forward. Low squat. Okay, we're going to play with a different crow here. Unless you want to do regular crow, that is up to you. Otherwise, drop down to your knees. This is called baby crow. For some people, baby crow is really easy compared to regular crow. For some people, it's the exact opposite. It's like, this is not easy. This is very hard. I'm in the this is a very hard camp. But you might not be. You know, we're all built differently. So baby crow means our forearms are down to the ground. We tuck the toes, come into that low squat again. So the knees are going to go wide, the hips are going to go as high as they can. Obviously they can't go as high as they are in crow pose because we don't have our, forearms lifted. They're down on the ground, okay? So don't worry about how high you can get your hips, but shift them back and then forward again. So we're just playing here. Hips go back, keep your heels together, and then back forward. Hips go back, and then forward, okay? So you start to feel a little bit of that core work going on. Now, if you want to go into baby crow, the goal is to get the knees up into those armpits, and then lean the chest forward. Not down, chest forward, far, far forward. You're gazing out in front of you, okay? So let's give it a try. If you don't want to do baby crow, go ahead and do regular crow. Once again, you might need to walk your feet in a little bit closer, get the hips lifted, knees high. Get the knees as high up on your arm as possible. Chest goes forward. Now take the left foot off, hamstring curl. And then the right foot off, hamstring curl. Push your arms down to the ground. Protract the shoulder blades. Can you do this? What happens if you fall? You just go straight to your face. It's an inch away, right? And then kick back, chaturanga. No, I'm kidding. Roll back onto your feet to your butt, boat pose. I bet someone did do chaturanga though. Not me though. All right, coming into boat. And then into Ardha Navasana, half boat. And all the way down to the ground. So we're going to do that ab work on the other side. I will turn around so you can see me a little bit better. This time the right arm is pivoted so the fingertips are facing away from each of you. Whew, I'm going to take your breath really quick. It's a lot of talking and moving. Okay. I'm with you. So remember, step 1, we want to be able to get our mid back and low back on the ground with our right hand down on the ground. So if your elbow's super close to you, you're not going to be able to get the mid back on the ground. So walk the arm just a little bit further away, which releases the shoulder and gives you more movement ability, right? More mobility. And then you're going to take the left arm, reach it across. And do that again. Reach it across. So we're just starting in basic steps. And reach. If you want to add on to this, the right leg moves. Left arm and right leg draw in together and then away. And then together and away. And you might push yourself up onto your forearm. And 3. How's it going? Are you breathing? 2. And 1. But we stay here. Maybe straighten the leg and pulse the leg into the arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, feet down to the ground. Knees go wide, reclined butterfly. Maybe one hand comes to the heart, the other to the belly. Close your eyes and find your breath. taking your hands so your palms are together, interlacing your fingers, index fingers and thumbs are still straight. Reaching up, begin to lift your head and shoulders off the ground and curl the fingertips forward. And then inhale, arms lift up overhead. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Maybe your head and shoulders stay lifted the whole time. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. We're trying to find a little more core contraction. Exhale, especially that low core. Inhale. 4 more. Whew. How you doing? You can do it. Push your feet a little bit more together. And 3. And 2. If you want to go a little faster, that's up to you. And 1. And hold here for 5. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Feet go up, soles down, knees point up. Bridge pose. Hands come down to our sides as we inhale, lift the hips. And we'll just stay here for a few moments. Don't worry about interlacing your hands underneath your back. Send your knees forward. And that top rib cage, see if you can pull it a little further away. So we're trying to spread the space between those hip bones and rib bones. Can you do that here? You might even bring your hands to pull. Last breath. Exhale, release. This time feet go mat distance apart. Knock your knees together. Maybe do a little cat-cow tucks with the pelvis here. And notice how that feels in the hip flexors, the pelvis, the sacrum. If it feels really nice somewhere, stay there. Exploring our bodies. All right, this time we're going to come into a deeper bridge. Pushing your feet into the ground as the hips lift. This time interlacing the hands underneath the body as you shimmy one shoulder in closer to the next. If this feels okay, consider lifting the heels, balancing on your toes, and drawing your chest to your chin. So we're not bringing our chin to our chest. We want to keep the back of our head on the ground, but bring our chest to our chin so we're creating more space back there. 1 more breath. Use those glutes. Squeeze. Yes. Exhale. Lower. Reclined butterfly. Where can you relax? Where are you still holding on? Is your jaw still clenching? Are your shoulders still tight? Your fingers? So we're going to come into one more bridge of your choice, whether it be bridge or maybe wheel, if you'd like to do that. Another option is to come into a reverse tabletop, especially if your shoulders are feeling like they need a little more time on them. So this is another play option. And we're going to be wherever you choose to go for 10 breaths. Yeah, that's right, 10. So if you went to bridge, hold that. If you went to wheel, hold that. If you came with me to reverse tabletop, consider taking that right foot in slightly, a few inches, and then drawing the knee down a little closer to the ground. Maybe it'll touch, maybe it won't. That's okay. We're just playing with hamstring flexibility. Not hamstring, sorry, front thigh. And we'll switch sides. That's right, you should be halfway through your bridge or wheel. I can't see you though, right? You might have done 1 breath and you're over it. That's cool too. Inhale, come up, all the way down. This time, mini Shavasana. Allow your legs and arms to go long. Reconnect with the earth beneath you. Okay, you're going to find your way up to a seat, whether you rock and roll yourself there. And join me. Left leg goes out long, right foot into the either inner thigh or towards the groin area. Inhale, sending your arms up. Exhale as you lean over to the left. So So just like we've been doing in this class, we've been doing a lot of this kind of lateral stretch, you know, when we were standing and reaching for our arms. So you want to feel that same sensation here. That right sit bone is really rooting into the ground, whereas we're finding more expansiveness along the right rib cage all the way up the arm. And so maybe that left forearm can come down to the knee. If it's not possible, that's okay. If you can find the knee really easy, take the hand down and the forearm down to the inside of that leg and keep twisting the rib cage up to the sky. Coming back up, hands to rib cage, twist the torso over that left leg as you walk down. So you can bend that knee if it's feeling a little tight. If you want to go for a little twist in this, take the right hand over to the pinky edge side and then gaze to the left. No rush into straightening that left leg. Take your time. I'd rather have your belly and thigh touch than the leg be straight. If I got to pick, that's what I would pick. And by belly, I might mean the left rib cage. Beautiful. Inhale, roll yourself up. Right hand comes out about a foot diagonal behind you. Push that left foot down into the ground as your hips lift, arm reaches behind you. And then exhale, coming all the way over that front foot. Let's do that 2 more times. Maybe you close your eyes as you dance through this movement. It might not look graceful, but does it feel graceful? Can you keep your awareness on every transition? And then exhale, bowing over that left leg. Thank you, left leg. Maybe give it a kiss as you find your way to the other side. Let's just shake it out for a second in between, just to notice. Do both sides feel the same? Do they feel a little different? All right, switching sides. The left arm reaches up as you slide the right hand down the right leg. And once again, you can keep that right hand down. Over time, we work on the elbow bending so the forearm is down on the leg. Keep twisting the right rib cage under, left rib cage back. If that feels okay and you're feeling nice and stretchy, forearm comes down to the inner thigh. And if you tried it and it didn't feel good, guess what? Go back to where you were. Root the left sit bone. Exhale. Twisting the torso over the leg. And then bend forward. If you want to twist for the bind, reach for the pinky edge side of the left hand. Allow your head and neck to soften as you fold forward. We're starting to slow down our breath. Allowing the exhale to get a little longer than your inhale. Inhale, rise. Left hand out, 1 foot to the diagonal. Inhale, send your hips up. Right foot down to the ground. A little back bend. Exhale, swing all the way around over the right leg. I suggest if you can, close those eyes. Last one. Hover and fold and bow over that right leg. Maybe give it a little caress or a kiss. Thank you. All right. Coming into one more forward fold of your choice. So option 1 is to allow the knees to pull away from each other slightly as you wrap your hands under your thighs, and then the head falls forward. And over time, you begin to straighten the legs, keeping the belly and thighs connected. Hands can reach forward. Maybe they grab your shins, maybe the ankles, maybe the feet, or if you're hyper flexible, a block, and then you reach around the block. That's one option. Another option is coming into a wide angle forward fold, and instead of doing this cat pose, you know, where we have the round of the spine, it would be more like a cow. So send the belly through, little back bend, and then maybe you come down your forearms here, allow your head and neck to soften. We'll be here about 5 more breaths wherever you chose to go. Inhale, pushing yourself up, coming down onto your back, giving yourself a hug. Squeezing really, really tight. A little tighter. And then opening your arms out wide. Knees fall over to the left as you gaze to the right. Sending the hips away from the head. Inhale, knees come up. Rolling to the other side. Inhale. Legs and arms go long, relaxed, and heavy. Maybe you puff your chest up a little bit, move your ponytail out of the way, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable in a position that allows you to rest. And then for this Shavasana, pick that awareness state, whether it be touch, sight, or sound, and stay with it for the next minute. Notice the sensations on your skin. The feeling as your breath moves up and down the throat, into your lungs. And the colors swirling beneath closed eyes. Inhale as you reach your arms up overhead. Unless you want to stay in a little longer Shavasana, turn off your computer or phone. Lay as long as you need. Otherwise, roll to one side, resting your head on your arm. And push yourself up into a comfortable seat. Eyes closed, palms together, heart center. And if you'd like, joining me in one Om to close our practice together, this chaotic internet spotty practice. Thank you for staying with me. through the moans and the groans. Take a deep inhale here. Audible sigh. Inhale. Palms come to forehead. Be light and shine. Palms back to heart. Be light and love. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me together at Breathe. You can find my YouTube at Leslie Germain Yoga. I will be posting a few more videos this week, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, and then an advanced flow, just so I can sort of meet people where they are, because we all have different schedules, right? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Make sure to comment down below or like the video so we can continue making this free content for you. All right, love you all. Bye. You're welcome. Bye, Kumar, Anita, Leah, Melody. You guys have a good day.